Hey everybody, it's John Brown, the one and only Bandana Gamer, coming to you with another episode of Contravania. Of course, tonight I am joined by Sean, aka the 8Bitglitch79. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And once again, we're joined by Megadan29.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me again. It's awesome.
And this time making their Contravania debut live from the Rubicon. We have Do You Nerds, Tom and Laci. How you doing, guys?
Hello.
Good. How are you?
Well, once again, thank you to all of you for joining in and logging on and recording this with me. You guys have meant the world to me. And once again, going to Southeast Game Exchange has been one of the best events for my life because you guys have become such a bigger part of my life just through messaging. And now that you're real people to me, you're not just things I see on the screen and imagine what you're like. Now I know Sean is terrible. Oh wow, that's like just killed the mood right from the get go. Sean is amazing. Sean is great. I love Sean. Heart Sean. But wanted to start off with not 8-Bit Glitch. We'll get to 8-Bit Glitch. I promise. Sean is a very valued and loved member of this community.
No, wait, your turn.
Just wanted to start with Do You Nerd? What's going on? How are you guys been? How's your day been?
It's been work.
Busy. Work keeps us very busy, but it's been good. And I mean, we get to keep in touch with all of you guys, as you said, through messaging and everything. So that definitely makes the work days go by faster. And it's always fun just to chat you guys up. Usually talking about video games. It's like a shared interest or something.
Nice. So have y'all been playing anything recently?
I tell you what, I'm pretty sure I'm going to die playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and this game is just never going to end. Beyond that, though, lately I've been kind of messing around with the Super Nintendo on the Switch, like the service and everything, just kind of popping around different games. I played through Magical Drop 2. I had a Megadan moment. I beat the game and didn't mean to.
That's what she said.
Whoops.
Whoa, credit roll.
She goes, she said on Marco, so there.
But I was also messing around with Kirby 3. I never played Kirby 3. The only Kirby game I ever played on Super Nintendo was Dream Course. And I remember when I was younger thinking, this isn't Kirby, this is golf. What happened? So it's nice that there's a Kirby game on Super Nintendo.
Nice. Laci, you playing anything or just working? Okay, y'all's audio has now gone out completely.
Oh, you can't hear us?
Yeah, well, I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
No. Oh, it died.
Oh,
There it goes.
sounded
You're
better.
short or something?
Oh, can you
All right,
hear-
everyone do hand motions. Interpretive dance.
Can you hear me now?
Kinda.
You're kind of muted.
No.
that sounded good.
That
I wonder
sounds...
if... Man, fuck it.
It's like in
while
and
they
out,
figure
in
that
and out.
out, I'm going to go over here to Megadan real quick, and we'll come back to Laci because Laci's awesome and deserves the spotlight. Unless she has an umbrella with her, which we'll get to that later. Megadan, what's going on with you? And in this intro, how many video games have you beaten?
Yeah, I'm not playing nothing right now. I'm actually working on a challenge. It's something new to the channel. I can't say too much about it. It's going to be a surprise. I'm going to try to do a whole bunch of them, have a backlog, and I'm going to do this different segment on my channel. But it's going to be something that I've never seen anybody do before, and it's incredibly difficult. So it's going to take time. It's frustrating. And it's just a different way for me to take old games and challenge myself, which is kind of what you were asking me earlier about no death runs and why do I do them. And it's new ways to play games that I've already no death run or 1CC'd or something like that, but it's harder than that. It's really, really difficult. So that's just something I've been putting a lot of work into lately.
Cool. And
Is it
Shawnee-
like blindfold and like jumping through flaming hoops or something?
Someday.
I've suggested like he start cooking like 3-course meals while he's playing video games.
Yeah.
So it's like cooking, no death cooking and video games with Dan. So yeah, Sean, what's going on with you, bud?
I'm still slogging through Dark Alliance. When I say slogging, because it's not, the game can be and should be a lot better than it is, but I'm kind of forcing myself to get to it because I'm such a big D&D Dark Alliance Baldur's Gate fan that I got to do it.
You're saying you do not like it, Sean?
It's not that I don't like it, but I'm not having as much fun as I feel I should be with the game. You know,
I remember hearing really good things about that game.
Yeah, I mean, graphically it looks great. I don't like the controls. Even the choices of button remapping they give you still doesn't make it better. Like every choice you have still doesn't feel right to me. So every time I go back to play it, even though I just played it like say an hour ago and I pick it back up, I just feel like I'm still learning what the controls are again. And it's one of those kind of it doesn't make me feel comfortable while I'm playing it kind of thing. But it's I think it could be improved a lot better than what they did. So.
A lot of what I've heard is that it's a very mediocre experience, that it's fine. I mean, once again, it's one of those games that really benefits from Game Pass. That, like, I'll jump on it and try it on Game Pass.
You play through it once, man, you never touch it again type of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to Laci.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, it's still a little muted.
Let me try something here.
It's kind of fluctuating.
I'm hoping we hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that better?
A little bit. We're just gonna go with it. So how are you?
I'm good. I've been playing Carry On lately.
Okay, what's that?
What is that? I mean, I know it was a limited run game. Like, so was it an indie?
Okay.
Yeah, basically like you're pretty much like the John Carpenter's The Thing and Carnage.
Okay.
Oh.
This is like big bloody blob monster. I didn't know if it was like something else, but like I could describe the game. But like, and you're kind of tentacly and you kind of roll around and you eat humans. It's very satisfying.
Wow. Here on Contravania, Laci likes to eat human beings. Tom, run, please. Long con. Like,
no, seriously, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you're actually playing as the bad guy for once, and so they're trying to kill you, and because you're this alien that escaped or whatever, and you're just trying to take over this like underground base, and it's actually a lot of fun. But it's not that long of a game, and it's a puzzly game, so I like it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like you're talking.
Metroid.
It sounds like you're talking about the shark game where you play as the shark and you eat everybody. What's that called?
Yeah.
Oh, Maneater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game. That game's fun.
You ever play Animal Crossing anymore, Laci?
I do. I have one annoying bug left to catch.
Oh man, that sucks.
Is
One
it the
more,
bug that
huh?
only comes out in July and August?
Yes, after 5 p.m. from like 5 to 8 in the morning, and it has to be on a palm tree.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
the rarest bug in the game, and
you can do it.
But I do play every once in a while, just trying to catch that stupid bug.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it sounds like everyone. I guess things I've been playing. I've been playing Mega Man 2. Played that a lot on my channel. I don't think I've ever gotten through that one, and it's.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't as hard. Like the boss stages were not as hard as I remember them, which is a first for me coming back to a game. Still, that dragon boss on the first Wily stage is kicking my butt on and off stream. And then the other thing I've been playing, I played through Power Rangers.
That was awesome.
The first Power Rangers SNES game. A lot of people don't know this. I have a very passing fancy with Power Rangers. It's just a smidge. And so, but that I actually was really proud of because y'all know I'm new to streaming. That was my first time beating a game on stream, and so playing through it, and I was like patting myself on the back. Didn't know death run it because I'm not a god like some people.
You totally could though.
Yeah, enough effort, but there's a part of me that's ready to move on.
Sure, sure.
So, but let's get into it. So last time we kind of took last time I had Sean and Megadan on, we talked a little bit about collecting from a broad perspective. And before we get back into that, I said next time we did this, I would ask Sean a very specific question. Sean, did you play Resident Evil on virtual reality?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. All right.
I have it, and I haven't played it yet.
Okay,
but
so
I can't wait. I was thinking of doing it on stream.
Okay.
So, but I got to get it set up because, like, my streaming's in here, and I really don't have much room. So it's like I don't know if the virtual reality thing's gonna work in this tight area.
And they're freaking out.
Yeah, knocking
down your game.
So let me ask
So
you.
I gotta do kind of a test run with like some other VR games, see how it goes in here.
Well, I think a great test would be to put Resident Evil on and then put one of your kids in it and see how they do in the room.
Wow.
I am apparently bombing tonight, joke-wise, and coming across as like the evil person. I was like, gotta gear up. Tom and Laci are coming. Like, Laci's feisty. I know
my
this.
youngest would probably be all over it, to be honest.
I'm just looking like a jerk. Hey, Sean, have you sacrificed your kids to demons? No. My bad, everyone. But excuse me, Sean, I interrupted. So what are you planning to do for your nice little virtual reality setup?
Oh, so I wanted to do a test on some more calmer games in VR to see how it works out in here on stream. Because the other thing about that is I'm not going to be able to see the chat or anything like that. So it's just going to be me playing a game and just talking. And I have no...
Oh, they're just
I'm not even going to know if anybody's watching or what.
So what you do is you do a Zoom with me, and I'll be reading the chat and just yelling at you as loud as I can.
There we go.
Sean, Megadan wants to know if you're okay.
No, I'm being...
All right, so we've wrapped up plot threads from previous episodes talking about bigger collecting. We're going to kind of like focus in on specific games we love and talk through some of those. But I first want to talk to like have Do You Nerd, like y'all have like the most positive YouTube channel, possibly the most positive thing on the internet.
Over
You know, it's just there's so much love that emanates from you guys, and I'm seeing Megadan over here shaking his head yes, or just swaying with his chair, one of the two. But like I wanted to talk, like y'all have such a love for everything you get, and I've talked about this before with y'all, like in this whole group, like collecting almost seems like a byproduct because y'all get what you love, and it's more a love of having it than having lots of it. You do have lots of it, as you can see in the background, but how did y'all get into this like collecting nerd stuff? And
that's green screen.
Yeah, that's all green screen. I think that would be more devastating to me than learning Santa Claus is not.
They're sitting in like a garage. It's all just fake.
I would cry for weeks if I learned that.
You need him to go touch something back there.
It just falls down.
Nice. But to get
Just
into the topic,
it's a curtain.
It's like the Roadrunner. He goes through it, and the coyote comes back.
You guys are destroying my adulthood. I have to believe Tom and Laci are real. I've seen the barrel.
He's seen the barrel.
But how did y'all get into like collecting? Like, what was that? How did that grow? Like, and because it's also another thing that I really love. It's like so about y'all's couple identity.
You want to start on your collecting journey?
Well, you actually. He started it because I was,
I got a first edition Tom. And I
did. I got a first edition Tom. I collected him. No, I did this whole stupid thing of, I'm an adult. I have to grow up. I have to be an adult, make everything look like an adult room. And then I met this guy, and he like went on to a garage sale and bought me a Rogue action figure. And he's like, "Here you go." And I was like, "Well, that's a toy. That's so cool, but it's a toy." And he's like, "Yeah." So he started making me feel comfortable being a kid again and enjoying toys. And then it was one of those, I'm an adult, I make my own money, I can buy these things now when I couldn't buy them when I was a child. So basically my collecting is going back and buying everything I wanted from when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You?
Mine's fairly similar actually. Growing up in the country, not a whole lot to do. Small town, not a lot of rental places. When you live outside of town, you don't get to go and rent stuff. So games were always kind of, like that far off horizon, dream type of thing. So that's kind of my big thing. I got into comic book collecting when I was younger, and I started to kind of collect video games. I got this brilliant idea one day. everyone collects comics. No one collects video games. So at the time I sold off the comic collection, went into video games. And then when I got with her, it was just kind of you know what? She's kind of collected all the things that she likes. She's not stopping with just one thing. So yeah, I'm going to get back some of those comics. And it's basically just kind of going after all the stuff that we didn't get a chance to have as kids. Nintendo Power is a huge blame for that too. You know, checking out all those games that you wanted to play. And I mean, it's not the same on a computer with an emulator. Even if you have the right controller, it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm. When did you, what like year did you start collecting, Tom? Like video games?
You
talking back in like 05 or are you talking?
You know, I really got into it probably around, it probably would have been 99, 2000, but there were a lot of events in my life where, I mean, basically the whole collection, like it would be, it's like, oh, I'm up to 300 games, and then something would happen, and I would keep 5 of those and have to sell off most of them.
Oh, man. So you were killing it, man. You went to Funko Land and everything then, huh?
You know, we actually didn't have a Funko Land in our area, but I did luck out with a couple of video stores that would close and just kind of talking to people that I knew, because there was that time when everyone thought it was crazy that, you know, it's like, why would you want a Nintendo game? You know, like the Nintendo 64 is out. Who could possibly want NES stuff now? Or Atari stuff? That's when I got a huge Atari collection, because nobody wanted that. People in our area were literally throwing it away. Is
there any game that you had back then that's now went skyrocketed? It's out of your reach now that you had at one point?
I managed to hold on to the ones that I had. I did manage to hold on to those because things like Chrono Trigger, I mean, it almost felt like out of the gate, they kind of held that value.
Okay. You know? It was rare.
So there weren't a whole lot. I think PS1, I'm going to butcher the name, Einhander, the square shooter.
Yeah. Yep.
I had that one, and I don't have it now. I honestly don't remember ever getting rid of it, but yeah, that's one that's gotten out of my grasp. And now when you look it up, it's crazy. And it hurt.
That's so cool. You've been collecting for so long though, man. That's awesome.
I would have liked to have kept some of that stuff too.
Sure.
That would have been really nice.
Cool.
So what like catches, now that you're kind of in a more broader and not limiting yourself, what catches your eye? Like when you go to a convention, what is it like? Because you've said like, we've asked you like, hey, what are you looking for? So we could be in you generally give us this wrong, you know, whatever. What catches Tom's eyes other than amazing redheads?
Damn, he knows me too well.
I
know. Well, he's got me there. I'm an open book.
You kind of are.
Honestly, it's stuff that I haven't seen before. Kind of like when we were at Siege. You know, I was looking around and no title specifically came to mind, but when I saw like that Sega Wacky Worlds thing and it had the mouse, it hit me. It's like, wait, the Genesis came with a mouse too? You know, everyone knows the Super Nintendo came with one, but it's like, Genesis?
Or that game that had the port on the front of it?
Yeah, just a silly tennis game, but it's got,
I watched your video and I was like, wow, that has a multi-tap built in? I have to at least see that.
Cart. Whoever would have thought to put it in the cart?
Yeah.
But it's just weird stuff like that because it catches my eye and then I want to know more about it. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to know like, okay, and I haven't done the research yet because I've been elsewhere, but like with the Sega Genesis mouse, it's like, all right, so did that come out after the Super Nintendo 1? And was it supposed to be a competitive thing? Mm-hmm. Or by some twist of fate, are we going to learn that no, Sega already had one and maybe Nintendo put a mouse out later? I mean, I have to look into it, but when you see that weird stuff you don't know about, it's like, oh, okay, I want to know why they did this. Or the tennis game. It's like, what prompted them to put controller ports in the cartridge of all things instead of expecting you to buy some kind of multi-tap like so many other companies did?
It's weird.
Yeah, I've actually researched that a little bit, so I can tell you some of that. Because I saw that y'all's video and I was like, what is that about? So there's 6 of these. There's another Pete Sampras tennis, and there's 2 Hot Wheels games, and then 3 Hot Wheels games, and another generic racing game.
Well, Hot Wheels might have been the better route to go.
It was just it's Codemasters, the people that made the weird Aladdin deck thingy. They were always just trying to do weird stuff with hardware. So it's kind of one of their projects. But Laci, so like you've talked about like your childhood is kind of the thing. What is there anything else that grabs your attention? Like, by the way, you should watch Do You Nerds con videos, but you should also meet them at a con because it is so awesome to see Laci light up when she sees something she wants at a table. And it happens a couple of times a con, so you don't have to like. You can probably just catch it at any time, but what catches? And then we're going to talk about plushies. Plushies are on the table.
Giant plushies. Basically, I'm kind of like with Tom. Like for video games, it's something that is. I like colored cartridges. I don't know why. Maybe it's a girly part of me or whatever. But like so, I go after anything that's colored, and then I'll look at it, and I'm like. That's interesting. Weird labels also attract my attention. Mm-hmm. Same thing with comic books. Weird covers of comic books catches my attention. So it's basically, if I like the way it looks, I don't have to know anything about it. It's just looks cool. Oh. Like I've gotten several action figures that I have no idea what they are, but I mean I do now. But like at the time, I didn't know what they were, but they were cool looking. So
mm-hmm.
I mean, I think even at Siege, I found a game that Sean was looking for that I didn't know he was looking for because it was a blue cartridge. And I was like, look at this cool blue cartridge. And I said, Tom, do we have this? And he goes, I was looking for that. And I was like, well, now you have it.
Yeah, Sean slapped that out of my hand. I was going to buy it for Laci. And he was like, no.
He's like, no, that's my blue cartridge.
Yeah, no, I was there. I had to separate y'all, it was getting intense. Sean was about to grab a chair. I was about to turn all kinds of WWF, ECW up in there.
Well, that was the same table with the Genesis cartridge with the porch.
It was, yeah.
So I said, you're getting the game with the porch. You're gonna give me the blue game.
Hey, Laci. So if you're at a convention, what would you say? What do you look for the most though? Like, is there a specific game that you always wish you could find, or a specific is there some like rare plushie that you would want that you don't know where you've never seen it or out of your price range or anything like that?
I don't think there's any plushie that I'm looking for specifically. I don't know. I don't know whatever catches my eye. It's just kind of a weird thing. I just know that I want plushies.
Yeah, because I'm not really obviously like into plushies very much, but there has been times when there's kind of cool ones because like I seen online the other day, there was this like old Sonic the Hedgehog one that was like from when they launched the game. There was a specific plushie that Sega put out or something. I thought that was kind of neat, So do you look for stuff like that?
There have been a few times that I've gone looking for things like we didn't have a Diddy Kong, and I was looking around a convention for Diddy Kong just because I thought it would be kind of neat if I found like a small one to like attach it to the barrel because Diddy Kong rides around in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Yoshi, so I look for Yoshis sometimes.
Okay. As far as
you can see the weird creepy Yoshi over my shoulder.
As far as older plushies, you wanted one of those old school Donkey Kongs for the longest
I did,
time.
yeah, and we found one of those.
Yeah,
really old one that doesn't even look like Donkey Kong. It looks
it doesn't even look like him.
Pizza.
Yep. That's cool.
As far as games, like, for a while you were kind of just keeping an eye out for like Harvest Moon games, but I mean those are tricky because
some of the older ones.
Yeah. But
cool.
they, at least usually when I find them, they're getting up there in price. So
yeah.
Is there anything specific that you haven't seen as a plushie that you would die if you saw it in plushie form?
Me.
I'll let you have that one.
Or maybe
I want you to know that was on the tip of my tongue, and I was like, I'm going to let Tom have this one.
I need a boyfriend pillow of Tom. That way, well, he never goes out of town. But if he ever went out of town,
you could be a Tom Oreo. You could be the center in a Tom Oreo, left and right.
He might get jealous. He's like, get out of here.
Come in, I've got it in a headlock.
Yeah.
There was something a while ago.
Actually, a plushie that I have actually been trying to keep an eye out for. Is it those monsters? What are they?
That's right.
I can't remember what they're called, but they were like blue, and they had the chain.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called now, but I always wanted one when I was a kid, but they were way too expensive, so I could never have one.
My Pet Monster or something.
Yes,
yeah, I think Sean's got it. It's My Pet Monster.
I had one of those, and I just love wearing the things and being like, rah! Like I was here.
I have been keeping an eye out for one of those, and original Boglins. I've been looking for those too.
Oh, cool.
They are remaking those and re-releasing them, but I would like to find an original one.
Yeah, a real one.
But I wouldn't mind having a reproduction either. I don't care.
Cool.
Oh, as far as like things that didn't exist, the problem is I feel like we're always coming across stuff that like you find out, oh, this actually does exist. Because remember that Wiggler, the Super Mario World Wiggler plush?
Oh.
And we just discovered it the other day.
Yeah,
online.
at Vintage Stock.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I never even knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's actually old?
No.
Not old.
No, it's a newer plushie. But
just like
cool
stuff that you'd want to see as a plushie, because normally it's like the cuter enemies and stuff from Mario that you're always looking for.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I was talking about on the conversation with J-Love and Walmart and being stocked and stuff. It's like I always see like the Star Wars toys. It's like that droid that was in that one scene that was in the background. There's always plenty of copies of that. It's like, why did they make that? Why did they make that?
Yep.
So really quick, Dan and Sean, y'all have been going to, or not Dan and Sean. Yeah, Dan and Sean. That's actually who I meant to say. The other cute couple that are on this show. That's not true. I'd fight anybody for Sean.
Watch out, Nintendo.
Yeah. So what do you guys look for at conventions? What grabs your eye? I feel like y'all are more specific in your hunting.
Go ahead, Sean.
I guess it's more of just if something really grabs me and like triggers some kind of memory or nostalgic or a happy time in my life. That's really what I try to collect for. Like I collect like a lot of Star Wars stuff because I grew up watching Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I've been getting like a lot of the Star Wars pops. I have a lot of pops, but I only collect things that mean stuff to me. Like if they're from a movie that I love, or I don't know, a TV show or a cartoon or something. That's what I kind of gravitate to. So just things that kind of remind me. When it comes to games, that's a little bit more vague, I guess. But outside of games, it's got to be something that really means something to me or has some kind of connection in my life.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah?
Because I know that you're a fan of Masters of the Universe, that little handheld that both Russ and then Retro Rick found, if you had seen that, would you have popped on that, or maybe not that far into the fandom?
Really quick, can we not use the pop language? Because Funko Pops are disgusting. No, please go ahead. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm just bombing. I'm just missing negativity today. You're all going to hell, just so you know.
Yeah, something like that. Probably not, unless it was like really cheap. If it was like, oh, it's $10, okay, maybe I'll grab it. But I probably wouldn't spend $40-$45 on it like it was going for. I'd rather spend that $40. Bro, that too. Yeah. That too.
Seriously.
But I'd rather have spent that $40 on something He-Man that was more relatable to my childhood. I never knew about that. I'd rather spend $40 on a figure, let's say, a He-Man figure that I would want, rather than that small electronic game that I'll probably never play, and it would just sit there on the shelf anyways. Whereas the toy would mean more to me because I had those as a kid, and there was some I didn't get and stuff like that. So
we play with our toys.
Exactly.
I guess with me, I'm kind of, I guess it might be kind of boring compared to you guys with that stuff. Before I go to a convention, I'm basically just going, okay, am I going to go for commons where I get more quality or quantity, or am I going to go for rare ones where I want to knock out a couple that I really want to get or something? So
right.
it's all about games. It's all about looking up gameplay. What do I want to play? With that being said, Nintendo Powers is becoming huge on my list. Game Pros, things like that. And I look for things also that could be from my childhood. Let me tell you, there's these action figures I would love to find someday, and it's the Battletoads Bendables.
Oh,
And I would love to accidentally fall into those. And just like I found a Tiger Electronics Battletoads game once. I'm a huge Battletoads fan. And then I want to find the Contra one. It's the taller ones, you know? Yeah, I know you got it. And so, yeah, I definitely want stuff like that. So if I see things like that, I'll definitely like look and be like, ooh, how much is that? Does it work? And stuff like that. But, you know, usually when I'm going to cons, if you look in my backpack, it's going to be games, man. That's what I'm going there for pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this has come up a couple of times as we're focusing in. 3 of y'all are fairly big in Nintendo Power right now. What, like, I don't have a lot, like, I read Nintendo Power occasionally. I had a subscription when they offered the Zelda game disc for GameCube because I had to have that. Like, that is one of the best start a subscription and get a thing ever. But what is it about Nintendo Power that, like, you guys, and y'all just talk Nintendo Power for a second. I'll cut you off when I get bored. Or when Laci gives me a look to, if like Laci starts doing this.
I guess
we'll
I
cut
can
it
go
off.
real quick. And I guess with me, it's like I pop one of those open. I was reading them the last couple of days. I've been popping one open, reading it. It's like it sounds really weird, but it's like you'll read some of the stuff, especially at the beginning of them, and where people write in and stuff like that. And I guess it just reminds me of a time when everything was so innocent. I just cared about video games, no responsibility. People talking about how they're playing Nintendo and their cat hits the screen, and the Nintendo Power guys always comment with something funny back. And seeing what was coming out, like looking at like them talking about Final Fight, and it was called Street Fighter at the beginning. Games that never came out. Seeing that, just what they ranked stuff, what was popular, because that's something I ask Tom all the time, and Tom always can tell me these things of when that was around, you know, that was really popular and everybody wanted, or everybody hated this, or everybody, you know, that's really cool to listen to because I didn't get to see it that way. I was a lot smaller and I was just this little kid playing whatever I had, and I couldn't really read when I looked at my Nintendo Powers. I just kind of looked at the pictures and went, oh, that game looks cool. And so hearing that kind of stuff, it's like this world of that's what it was like. And it brings me back to that. And it's a really good feeling. It's like a comfort thing. You know, it's just awesome to pop one of those open and read it. So.
What about you, Tom?
For me, you know, Dan hit a lot of it on the head right there. A lot of it is just that nostalgia. When you grow up and without the internet, and that's your only outlet for getting any kind of video game news, it really speaks to you. Just like him, I would be so enamored with all these previews of games that may or may not come out. And when the game finally did come out, going back to the first time you saw that game and like comparing screenshots, and it's like, wait a minute, this screenshot is not in the Link's Awakening that I'm playing right now. It's like, where is that? You know, what happened to that? Stuff like that would be very fascinating. The fact that, again, he touched on the letters, it had that community feel that we have now. It was very cool to see that there were all these other people out there who shared this same passion. You know, they would have the envelope art that people would send in. You know, they're just writing a letter to Nintendo Power, and then on the outside of the envelope, there's like this really cool looking picture of Link, and it's like, that's just on the envelope, you know? Like, they didn't even draw that and pack it in or anything. But it was also so cool seeing the original art that they would bring in there. When they did all of the Dragon Warrior coverage, I don't know who did the art, but it was so unique. It wasn't that Toriyama anime style art that the game had as Dragon Quest over in Japan. It was this very westernized artwork to it. And it was so unique, but it was so cool because it painted pictures. There's this one where your warrior, he's like basically down on one knee and he's got like an arm up against the awning as he's coming into this inn, like he's so battle worn. And it's stuff like that even though the game looked nothing like that,
right,
that's how you would feel sometimes. It's like, oh, I've been out killing ghosts and slimes all day long. I've got like 3 HP left. I'm praying that I make it back to this inn because I don't have any medicinal herbs or anything. And you actually make it, and it just, it's such a good feeling. It's like, no, I can finally heal up and everything. And that artwork that really spoke to you. It's like, yeah, that's exactly how it was. Or when they covered Secret of Mana, they had all this cool artwork of just the weapons and the items. And it was so cool because like in the game, you don't really see it. It's like, oh yeah, when I'm using the spear, he does, use a spear instead of a sword. But seeing that artwork of it, it was neat because it gave like much more dimension to it. And it's just little touches like that. And you definitely don't get that anywhere else anymore.
Yeah.
There's something else I wanted to say real quick too, that I always wish I would have been like just a little bit older at that time, because like when people would take pictures and send in screenshots of like high scores and stuff, how much fun would it have been to sit there and try to beat these people's scores?
Oh, dude, you would have been like Steve Wozniak. You would have to start spelling your name backwards because they wouldn't accept your screenshot.
Yeah, quit sending us stuff.
Sean,
Like that little kid in the classroom that's always raising their hand, like, anyone else know the answer?
Hey, I wanted to ask real quick though, Tom. Did you ever send anything to Nintendo Power ever?
As far as like a screenshot for a game?
Anything.
I did because when they had some kind of there was something to do with a reptile for Mortal Kombat, and I managed to get to him and defeat him, and I did send them a picture of that, but I don't think anything ever came of it.
That's cool. A screenshot back then. You use your camera and take a picture.
Oh yeah,
yep.
They would tell you in the magazine.
They told you how to do it.
They're like, put a stack of books on a chair. Make sure all the lights are off. Turn the flash off of your camera.
Yeah.
But I wrote them a couple of letters sometimes too. I would ask them questions like, I was such a nerd. I would ask them, so what does it mean that Link and Samus both are in Super Mario RPG? So clearly they managed to cross over from their world into the Mushroom Kingdom.
I want a timeline now.
Yeah.
I think they would write something back generic like, hey, thanks for the letter. Keep on playing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you should have kept that, though. That's cool. They wrote you back.
I had them for the longest time. They may be buried somewhere.
That is amazing.
I'll have to really look. It would be great to still have them.
Yeah.
But, they didn't care about me trying to figure out where's Hyrule located according to the Mushroom Kingdom. I want to know what the political boundaries are.
I'm sitting there going, they're reading this letter going, dude, it's a video game, kid.
What kind of government does the Mushroom Kingdom have? Like, is Princess Peach elected? Is she born into that role?
You know that classic picture online of Miyamoto, like, just holding his head?
You're off to the side.
That's after reading my letter. I was like,
Good. No.
Shawnee Boy, do you have anything to add on the Nintendo Powers? You're also one that's kind of fiending for those these days.
Like, I just like to read them.
I find them like time capsules. Yeah. Every issue you open up, it's like this point in time that brings you back. That it's like a time traveling. It's for me. It's like reading it, and it's just amazing. And I love it that I think it's one of the best video game magazines that's ever been made.
Oh yeah,
down, ever.
Oh,
it's like it was just so full of information, so full of just great stuff. It was like getting a strategy guide every month or whatever. Yep. You know what I mean? Like it had maps, and I loved maps as a kid. I would make my own maps out, everything. So then I'd get all these maps, and I just loved studying them. Even if I didn't even like the game, I just loved studying the levels.
Yeah,
you have the whole level, like Castlevania. Like the whole first level of the castle, and you could see it all at once. Instead of one screen at a time where you're playing, you could see the whole castle laid out. It was like, that's amazing, you know.
Is there any issue that like how Tom was saying he had like the Secret of Mana or something, and the Dragon Warrior ones. Is there any issue that you're like that one? Gosh, I looked at that so many times.
To be honest, it was the first one. I used to have the first one, which I recently got. But when I was a kid, I still have the poster and the Zelda map from it.
Well, how special that you just got it, man.
Yeah.
How cool.
I don't know what ever happened to like all my Nintendo powers, to be honest, and especially that first one. But some reason, because I think I stuck the map in like some other strategy guide, like a Metal Gear Solid strategy guide down the line. It was stuck in there, and I came across it. And
well,
I'm like,
good for you.
All my, like, you know, the Lost Woods where you have to go down, then up and down to get out of it. You can see my little pen arrows to remind myself what's the pattern on the map, and all these different like. Because they only gave you some of it, and you had to cut it in some of the stuff. You can see all my marks on it. I should show it sometime.
That's really special. You just bought that again, then, dude.
Yeah, because when I
really cool,
finally got it, I was like, "That's awesome." That was like, mine was worn out because I would read it every day.
Sure.
Like I would always go back to that one. I don't know. It was just that first one is great. Awesome. But what's cool is I always thought I'm just going to collect NES and Super Nintendo era. That's it. Like the first 100 or something. But I went recently to a store and they said, "Oh, we got some Nintendo powers in the back, 2 boxes." And I said, "Okay, cool." They brought them out and it was all like the newer, like GameCube forward kind of era. So I'm looking through them. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not really interested in it." But then 2 of them, because of the covers and what's in them, I said, I have to add these because of that time capsule thing. Sure. And one was the Metal Gear Twin Snakes.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And that's a game
and you got all the maps to the levels, all the stages and everything. And it's my favorite game. Obviously for the PS1, but the Twin Snakes remake is great too. So it means a little bit something to me because it's one of my favorite games. So I said, I got to get that one. Did you guys, any of you, Tom, Sean, Bandana, is there ever an issue that you followed the walkthrough in there and you have like a memory with it?
I can answer. I don't have any memories with Nintendo Power beyond getting that disc and being like, Zelda disc, awesome.
I know I have. I can't think right off the top of my head specifically, but I know I remember following the maps and like for example, like Ninja Gaiden, like, oh, okay, there's the slash attack. Is it in that lamp? So
okay, cool.
You know, things like that.
I just looked at
where the weapons
that issue the other day. Yep.
But, yeah.
What about you, Tom?
I know I've done that.
Illusion of Gaia. They had some great maps for that game, and the thing is, I mean, first of all, you don't really need maps for that game because it's a fantastic game, but it's very, very linear. But I still love the maps. And it used to drive me nuts because it only did the maps to like so far, which Nintendo Power would often do. I remember they were big on doing that with the Mega Man games. Like they would take you through all the levels and then like sometimes through the first Wily Castle level. And then they're like, off. You're on your own now.
Good luck.
But that's what they did with Illusion of Gaia. But that's the one that really stands out to me.
Yeah.
And Laci, did you have Nintendo Power?
Well, I was going to say real quick, the other issue I picked up was the launch Wii.
Oh, nice.
So they talked about the first launch titles in the launch issue of the Wii. And for that time capsule reason, I picked it up. Because I'm like, in a few years down the road, I'm going to dig this out again and look at it and be like, oh, yeah, the Wii. When the Wii came out.
Dude.
So I grabbed that one. And that's why. Because it means something or it stands out. Sure.
Not gonna lie, when you first said like they brought out these 2 boxes and you weren't that into them, and then you found 2 issues, I thought the ending of that story was, I walked out with 2 boxes of Nintendo Power.
Me too.
Like that is how.
That's why I started laughing. I was like, "You bought a whole bunch."
Well, at first I was like, "I wonder what they're giving for all the box and stuff." But then when I brought these out and they're like, basically charged me retail for them, I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm not gonna be buying 2 boxes of Nintendo Power." Well, these 2 cost like $10 a piece or something, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, nope.
And I'm sorry, I jumped in on Laci. Laci, were you into Nintendo Power and were you into?
No.
Did you have a kids magazine you loved?
Highlights.
Highlights.
I was just gonna say that, dude.
Laci liked to go into the dentist just because there was
Yes.
highlights.
No, 'cause
Yes.
there were- all the puzzles and things were already done in them. So
Yeah, highlights, man.
Nice. All right. Well, that kind of does help segue into
into
the next
more
part of the
highlights.
conversation. I want to know something right now. Video game or toy? What are two things you are deeply enamored with in this moment? I don't want to say your favorite thing in your collection because that's stupid, but something you're deeply enamored with in your collection right now. Oh,
That's it. That ends it right there. I mean, how can you top that?
I'm pointing. To
well,
Sean.
all right. Let me ask this question: of our
That just
group of
means
friends,
if-
who
I
is
don't know
the
if I'm
cuter?
pointing at Dan, but I am on my screen.
Yeah, you are.
I
Of our group of friends that we've been talking to, who is the cuter couple, Tom and Laci, or Dan and Nugget?
Tom and Laci.
No, all right. So I'll start while y'all
Sent you
think,
a
since
photo
I
of
threw
me
this
and-
question at you. Two things.
I'll
That's-
go in this.
All right, two things I'm enamored with. One I've had for almost a year now that I'm still in love with. Is my Mega Man 2 poster. It's the original American box art. And kind of like what Tom was talking about in the Nintendo Power with the Dragon Warrior box arts and stuff. I am just fascinated with what they did when they brought those games to the West. And so I have a Mega Man 2 box art poster, but that it's actually signed by the guy who did that art. And I've emailed back and forth with him. And he's an interesting dude. He did a lot of Tengen's box art. He did the Tengen Tetris box art. I did a lot of Capcoms. He's an interesting dude before they actually started putting the Japanese art. And then another thing, the obvious thing that I've been obsessed with, I'm not going to go with because I've talked too much about Castlevania Dracula X. I will say I just picked up and I've been playing around with it. And I just love that this stuff is happening. Is the Jay and Silent Bob NES game.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really happy that I'm seeing NES games. You can talk about them being new games being repros, but I'm happy to see people going back and doing that hardware and it getting significant releases. And the Jay and Silent Bob brawler that is on the NES is amazing. And also there's all kinds of nostalgia of being a teenage boy and watching Kevin Smith movies for the first time and be like, he said a bad word. Duty! They're smoking pot!
Yeah.
But that's two things I am enamored with right now. Someone take it away. Laci, we haven't heard from Laci in a while.
Okay, go ahead, Laci.
So anything that in our collection that we're fascinated with at the moment still, probably I have a plushie that Tom got me, 2 years ago now, I think. And it's a giant, it's about like this big. It's a, don't eat my hands. It's a giant pink axolotl, which is actually what got me interested in axolotls. And he got it for me about 2 years ago. And not to sound like a hipster, but before they became really popular. And so I'm glad that they're now actually popular because now I can find stuff for them and I can actually get a real live axolotl. But anyway, it's just a big, squishy, cartoony looking plushie that I keep on the couch, and any night we're watching TV, I'll kind of cuddle with it.
Aww. That's sweet.
What else? Which one? It's another thing.
Another thing?
We can alternate it too. We can make Megadan since he was going to jump in.
Yeah, I was gonna
Megadan,
say, yeah, let them go.
what's something you're enamored with in your collection right now?
I gotta cheat a little bit here, and I have more than two just because I don't want to leave out a couple things. For one, Meg got me this for our anniversary, and it just had a really cool story because she kind of went behind the scenes at the convention, and it made it like even more special. It was something I really wanted. I just wanted it loose, but she got it from a very special place. It was Video Game Cavern. Really good friends of mine down at South Carolina, and just for her to think of me like that and get me something, especially behind my back, was just really kind and really nice. And you know, my wife's not really into video games and stuff, so for her to see my eyes light up when I seen it, it meant a lot to me. It's a lot more than just a game. You know what I mean?
Not into video games, but she's into her man.
Yeah, which is awesome. And then These two things that were sent to me a while back. This was a boxed Ken Griffey Jr. from Zombie JLT1 and a boxed Super Punch Out from Nick Hudgens. And the reason these are a big deal is, for one, this was Nick Hudgens when he was little. But most of all, I lost my dad this earlier this year, as you guys know. And this is two games that me and him played all the time. It's almost like I can get choked up talking about it, so I won't talk about it too much. But I get up every day, and when I'm done playing, I look over there, and I think of my dad a lot. So, yeah, that. And then, sorry. And then I got this sent to me from a friend of, excuse me, guys. I got this sent to me from a friend of the channel. Really cool. It's a game I wanted really bad. He knew I wanted it. It was just really nice of him. So this was sent to me by EMS Ballistics, and it was just another thing of, wow, this community is really cool, and there's people out there that look for you, that look out for you. So just really, really cool. So sorry about that, guys.
Nothing to be sorry for. I mean, that's kind of the point of like this question, is not only just like the value of, you know, we could talk, you know, retail value, whatever, but like those stories, like, and like that's why why a lot of us collect. You know, we're it's an outpouring of ourselves. Like, I'll join you with the, like, I'm gonna join you with the, like, so this is my Cal Ripken baseball.
You said your friend,
and yeah. This like I collect because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like every time I get up and I get done for the night and I play, I can look over there.
Yeah.
And I get a quick flashback of back then, and I'm like, see you later, dude. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
And I think that's another thing Tom kind of talked about, like the things that are connected with stories, you know, and that's like, Tom talked about just finding interesting things in the story that goes behind those, like, why is there a Pete Sampras game with controller ports on it? And you know, I am like falling for Nintendo powers now. I'm like on the cusp of like starting to like, because I'm like, oh, these really cool guys are into them.
Sure.
No, I've already see, like, y'all see this nice thing that Sean is, this nice guy that Sean is, and how smiley he is. He is constantly sending me things I need to buy, and I'm just like, get behind me, Satan, get behind me.
Look at that grin on him. It's like, yes.
So, Shoddy Boy, what's something you're enamored with right now?
No, I expect you to buy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he gets a cut every time he sends me a Facebook.
Right.
I get a commission. How do you think I get all this?
Yeah. Also, I want to say this. So we've been discussing Mega Man X in a private circle, and that's another episode. That is a whole other episode because we don't have the time for tonight. That's probably a multi-parter episode because two people in this chat are very wrong. I won't tell you who. Keep watching. Fired. But Sean keeps sending me Mega Man X things to buy, which seems so wrong.
Take that.
So,
and it's like games and things I know he already has, but I'm like, hey, look, buy.
Yeah, I'm sending him pictures of completed sets. Stop now. But 8-Bit, what's something you're enamored with right now?
I would say this right here, which I have a lovely display here of all. What I say before we started, I said this is all the things I would grab if my house was burning down, and then I would get the kids and the pets.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
No wife, though.
She can walk.
She can take care of herself. God.
Hey.
She's a year older than me. Come on.
And this is the moment chivalry died. Right here.
Wow.
But this I have on the shelf over here. If you knew my room, when you walk in, there's a shelf here you see right away. And this I have, make sure it's facing out.
Whoa.
Always, because this game is what really got me back into video games hardcore. When I saw this game, Metal Gear, and I got it signed in 2019 by David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake, and met and hung out with him at the convention.
Cool.
And I was like, if you told the Sean who's playing this
right
back then that I was going to meet and hang out and party with David Hayter, I would have been like, get out of here and
That is
stuff. So
amazing.
every day I see it when I walk into the room. It's the first thing I lay my eyes on, and I keep it that way because it's like one of the greatest moments in video game like history, and my personal history right here is when discovering this game. And this is what got me into modern gaming. Up until this point, Genesis, Super Nintendo was the most modern thing I was playing. And then I saw a strategy guide for this, and I went, "Are you kidding me? That's like a movie." And so I immediately bought a PlayStation 1 in preparation for this game.
Nice.
That's really cool, man.
That game means a lot to me because of that. So that's the one item. And then I would have to say the first issue, Nintendo Power.
That's cool, man.
That I got at Siege this year because of that whole reason. It was my favorite issue, and I got a good deal on it.
Yeah, I didn't know that when you bought it, dude. So that's really cool. You got that. That's super sick.
And it was so random. I wasn't even looking for it because that thing is usually pretty expensive.
Sure.
So I wasn't bothered asking or looking for it or looking at it. And nobody had it out. He didn't even have it out. And it was like early Sunday morning. We got there early.
Yep. I was
looking at some other Nintendo Powers. And the guy goes, "Oh, yeah, the guy over." He goes, "Oh, you looking for any issue?" I jokingly said, "Oh, yeah, issue number 1." And he goes, "Oh, the guy in the booth over there's got the number 1." I'm like, "Really?" And he yells over, "Hey, so and so, like he's interested in number 1." And he goes and like had it like under the table. Didn't even have it out or anything.
I wonder why.
And he goes, I'm like, "Wow." He goes, "Yeah, it's got the map and everything and stuff." And I'm like, "This is crazy." I go, "What do you want for it?" And he's like, $40.
Yeah,
like,
sign me
I'm
up.
like,
yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't get it
He
out
accidentally
fast
undid his belt and his pants dropped, and he still was going for his wallet.
So I was like, I wasn't even planning on getting it. Wasn't even really looking for it because I thought it was something out of reach kind of a thing for me.
Sure.
And there it was, just here, have it, $40. I'm like, thank you. Yeah.
You know, that's one thing I will say. You would think Nintendo Power number 1 would be worth a lot more than it is. You would think that'd be like a $400 or $500 magazine, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's like 100 something bucks, if that.
Don't give them any ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
No, well,
We already have number 1, so it's okay. You can raise the price.
Yeah, I got mine already, so go ahead.
There's Castlevania in that. I saw the index.
Dude,
I
that
need
Castlevania one.
Castlevania, that's the one place Castlevania 1 is mentioned. So no.
Yeah.
We can raise the price in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Tom, what's something you're enamored with right now in your collection?
did you ever think of a second one
No.
of all of your stuff?
Just look behind you really quick. Like,
I guess my
you just
Switch
like
Lite.
take the camera over to stuff, and I'm just gonna tell you stuff I'm enamored with. Like,
Yeah. Or Switch Lite, though. That's cool.
Yeah, I love my Switch Lite. I take it everywhere with me. So it's light enough.
Which one do you have?
The teal one.
That's right. I knew it was a cool color. Yeah.
That's what my kids have. They each have the
The
teal.
best color.
the Switch Lite is, and once again, another episode, the best version of the Switch, hands down, in my opinion. I think
They're coming out with another special. I just saw it.
a new Pokemon one is coming
A new
out.
Pokemon one. It's like dark black or
Is it
gray.
gonna actually look like a Pokemon one, other than the one that was just gray with different colored buttons? I was like, how's that Pokemon?
It has
this one's
Pokemon on the
really
back.
Dark and it's got 2 on the back. Don't ask me who. I haven't followed Pokemon since the first 100 and what.
Dude, you know what's super sick? Is how-
There was
I just jumped
I liked
in
it.
to say how great the Nintendo Switch is with Laci, and she just bashed the Switch Lite I own. The Switch Lite that got me on the platform, the one I love because that pink and blue color scheme is awesome.
She's right though, because like look how hard, and I think they did so good back in the day with N64 with that Pokemon one with Pikachu on it.
That's what I mean. They've done
Like-
so much better themed things.
Yeah.
But
Like,
to
we
be
got the
fair,
Zelda-
they quickly stopped that because the Pokemon GameCube is boring as all get out. It's just the
Really?
plate.
It's just the jewel.
Yeah, it's just the plate.
Pokemon XD.
Yeah.
It's
Like that
Like,
Nintendo
that's what we
64.
do with the Zelda, gamepad, and I mean it's gorgeous. It's got beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
and
right. They did a really good job. Yeah.
Okay,
I guess
well,
I
y'all
just-
will be getting several polos of my thesis of why that Nintendo Switch Lite is the best version. But that'll be that'll be only fans material for this channel since only.
Honestly, that was my third choice color, so don't worry.
Sure, it was. Sure,
it was. It was the teal, yellow, and then the Pokemon.
Yeah,
because I did like the colored buttons.
Yeah,
I like the blue one they just came out.
The new
with.
dark blue one.
Yeah,
the
that one looks sweet.
Hey, Laci, are the joysticks holding up on that thing?
So far, yeah, but I also don't like throw my Switch around. I keep it in a hard case.
Sure, you take care of it.
All these people are like, "Oh my god, Joy-Con drift is so terrible." And so like T-Belly's like, I've had to turn my Joy-Cons in like 5 times, and it's like, are you stirring like you're cooking with it?
No.
Like how?
Segue to his stream and him spiking the controller.
Yeah, you know. But the other nice thing, because I know a lot of people are worried about the light, like you can't take the Joy-Cons off if you get the drift. But the Pro controllers work with the light. Okay. So if you ever do get Joy-Con drift, just use a controller and it overrides that drift.
Sure. So. Gotcha.
So, Tom, what's up? All right, now we get to Tom. Tom, what is something in your collection you're enamored with? You can't answer Laci for the 4th time.
Well, I guess something just kind of fun. You can't see it because of these jerks right here. But right up there is actually where the Zelda board game is. And I say that because it's literally nothing to do with the monetary value. It's the fact that I found it, and not only that, but in the wild. I didn't have to buy it from eBay or anything. We were at a convention, a local one, no less, not even 5 states away. And it was just within this stack of board games. I saw, Zelda on the spine. And it was like slow motion. I just kind of go over there and I pull it out, and I could not believe it. Yeah. And I asked the guy, what do you want for it? He's like, well, it's in kind of rough shape. And I mean, all the pieces are there. You can open it up and check. Honestly, I didn't care. It's like however much was there. I was so thrilled to have that because I never thought I would have that in the collection.
That's super sick, dude.
I really never thought I would find it in the wild. I thought that'd be one of those things. It's like, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's get online and find this thing.
The funny thing is there was a Garfield board game sitting on top of it, and he goes like this to me, and he's like big eyes. I thought he was freaking out for the Garfield board game. But I'm like, you're like Garfield.
Have you ever played that game, Tom? Like, is it a good board game?
No, Garfield's stupid. No, just kidding. I don't mean that. I love lasagna.
We haven't actually. I looked it over when I was doing some B-roll for it, though. I mean, it looks like it's
all the pieces are cardboard.
Yeah.
So it's I'm afraid to because they're like the tent type things, but it's perforated on top. So I'm afraid if we play it, they'll just like come apart.
But I mean, it looks real simplistic. This was the 80s. They
pretty
much cookie cutter the rules and stuff from games and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it would be fun just to
play it sometime
for the fun of it. Yeah.
Just wait till I come over sometime. We'll play it together. We got to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then somehow he'll no death run it.
He'll trip and roll the perfect.
Yeah, look at it.
Hey guys, I just won.
I just need a 12. I just need a 12.
You're rolling one dice. How did you do that?
Look, the D20 in there when you weren't watching.
Yeah. So stupid.
All right, well, I feel bad because my topic was to get to specific games we really like, but we're kind of running up on time. So what I want to know really quick from everybody, what is, and this is just general, this can be movie, video game, experience, whatever. What is something coming in the next month or so that you're excited about? I'll start it off with Sean.
Oh, God, I didn't even have time to think. Jeez. In the next month?
I've got one if you need help.
All right, Megadan,
go. Easily that new Wario game. Can't wait to play it. Cool. Want to play it so bad.
That's the new WarioWare?
Yeah, the new WarioWare on Nintendo Switch. I can't wait.
Why are you excited about that one? Give me.
I love WarioWare games, and the fact that I love playing my Switch, so I think that with what the controller can do and the different things on the system, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And plus, my wife plays it too.
Nice.
So me and her had fun playing Animal Crossing, so now hopefully she'll play this too. So it'll be something that the whole family will play.
Yeah.
Nathan loves WarioWare on the GameCube, so pretty sure he'll like it too. So it's going to be awesome.
Nice. All right, Sean, do you have anything?
Well, actually, I guess you said it didn't have to be video game, right?
It doesn't have to be. Just something that makes you happy that you know is coming.
They're releasing a remaster of the Metallica Black album. Comes out next month. I just pre-ordered it. I only got the 3 CD set because I couldn't shell out the $250 for the 4 LP, 6 CD, 4 DVD book, guitar picks. I mean, it's a massive box set. I would have loved to have got, but it was like $200 and some. So I just went with the 3-disc one. And the reason I went with that because that album was it was 1991 September, and it was a pretty big year for my life. A lot of things were happening at that time in my life, and that album was like the soundtrack at that point in my life. So that album is pretty important to me. So the fact that they're coming out with a remaster and they have a CD, one of the CDs is like all of like James's rough recordings of the riffs. So you'll be able to hear basically his tape deck record, and he's playing in the room just trying to write the riffs, and we'll get to hear that it being made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the ideas coming to life from that album. So
that's really cool.
I guess that, yeah.
Okay, I'll go. So want to say open air venue, lawn seating, hopefully with specific seats that we actually reserve special lawn seats. So hopefully they'll be fairly well spaced out. But I'm getting to see my favorite band from when I was 15, or most of my favorite band from when I was 15. And that's the hottest band in the world, Kiss.
Nice.
Going this Thursday to Pennsylvania to see Kiss, and see how awesome two 70-year-olds can rock on stage. And it'll be my wife's first time going to see a form of Kiss, which I'm really excited about.
That's cool. My friend's seen them a bunch of times. He says it's so good. So enjoy.
It's at the very least, it is a spectacle of fireworks and flashing lights. So Tom and Laci, what's something awesome coming up in the next month for you guys?
Real quick, I was going to say you would probably be impressed by them rocking at 70, but obviously not, because they're just going to bring it. So
it'll be an awesome show. Yeah.
Ladies first.
Well, we've got a couple of conventions coming up that I'm super duper looking forward to. So we have Mo Game Con coming up, and Joplin Collectors, Toy Collector, and MGC coming up in November. But other than just, conventions and the fact that we can actually go to conventions again, I would say the Breath of the Wild 2 coming out, because I loved Breath of the Wild. It's the only Zelda game I was ever actually able to play. I couldn't get into any of the other ones. And Deadpool 3. Don't know when it's coming out. Don't care. All I know is it's happening, and I'm looking forward to
it. One day. I think actually Katie is upstairs completing the DLC for Breath of the Wild right now as we're doing this.
I can't get past that stupid trial thing where you can't die, and you just that DLC where you
I
get to level 12 and can't get past it.
Arrows. That's how Katie did it. They suggest using arrows and because you can't use a sword, but you can use arrows.
I don't know. Driving me nuts. But anyway, Tom, what about you?
Well, I had to look. I was going to say Evil Dead the game, but I think that's been pushed back to February of next year now. But initially, it was supposed to come out in 2021. And I thought it was close to October, but maybe not. But there's is it Kena Bridge of Spirits? I don't know if anybody's checked out any trailers for that game, but it looks gorgeous. I mean, I'm interested in the game already, and I've read a little bit about it. I try, when it's something I'm interested in, I try not to read too much into it because I don't want it to ruin the experience for me. but I'm interested enough. But just looking at it, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks so beautiful that I think it's going to be one of the games that you and her sister, who comes over to watch me play games, are really going to love. So I think it's just going to be like totally engrossing
Except
for
we'll
us.
never get to play it because we'll never be done with Valhalla.
Yes. You will play Valhalla till you go to Valhalla. Like,
Yeah.
Is that one of those things, Tom, where you're ready for Valhalla to be over, or you're having fun with it?
Yeah, I mean, not to go off on a tangent or anything, but like just real quick, if anyone likes Assassin's Creed Valhalla, great. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad. It is a gorgeous game world. It really, really is.
Yeah.
But there are so many little things that nag at me that I just don't like about it. And as someone who's played all of the console Assassin's Creed games since the first one, I feel like if it's not gelling well with me, that there's got to be something there. That being said, it may play better for other people. If someone's left off in the series and they jumped in and came back to this one, they might like that. But I don't know. It's just not been a fun game. And I've been really bummed out by that because I love how beautiful it is. I love the setting, the time frame, and the history of it, with the whole Norse mythology. But yeah, for me, there's just no fun in it.
Odyssey was better.
yeah, I've played it a little. It felt too vast. Like, it just, like, the world felt almost like too open and like too much snow. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, there just were times where I was climbing a mountain and didn't see anything but the snowy mountain for so long.
Once you get past that, it's a lot
when you get
better.
to England.
But that is a good point, because that is not a good way to start off a game.
No.
That bland, and as
Especially
long as you're there.
If you just came off of Odyssey, you got this gorgeous, Greek world, and then you're in Norway and it's freaking snow everywhere.
That's cool.
Cool.
You're making me worried to start that game. Haven't yet. That's been
the
on my
thing
back
is,
burner.
Some
I know
people
it's gonna
really
be-
seem to enjoy it.
Hey, but Sean, I can tell you, you've got the Series X, right?
Yeah.
That game shows off what that system can do.
Okay.
That game makes that system, like, that's the whole ray tracing, lighting effects. You will get an appreciation for what the Xbox Series X can do.
That's I've heard that. Yeah.
So that at the very least is worth giving it a little bit of time. But like they have made the Assassin's Creed games super long now. Like, that's you're at least 50 plus hours in at this point, right?
Me?
Yeah,
Over 100.
over
Like
100.
150.
Yeah.
Look at Dan just laughing.
I want to see you trip into no death running and beating.
Yeah.
I just beat it in a weekend, guys. I know what you're talking about.
I thought that was only 20 hours in.
I don't know
It's
what
I
y'all's
sat
problem
down for
was.
2 hours, had it done.
I 100%ed the game. All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up. I do hope we can do this again sometime with this crew, because you guys, you're amazing, and all just super great people. I do want to get everyone. Of course, everyone's YouTube channel will be in the comment section, or will be in the description below. And honestly, if you're watching my channel and you're not subscribed to these people, I'm very disappointed in you. I'm just know that these people should be front and center in your YouTube life. So is there any other social media contacts for Do You Nerd?
We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook a little bit. But yeah, hit us up on any of those, and make sure that you keep watching all of these people here, because honestly, it's the community that makes all of this.
Megadan.
Just got Instagram, Twitter, the Megadan29, and then just YouTube, man. So
Cool.
I wanted to say too before we left that this is the first time I think I got to do anything with Do You Nerd, right? I think this is our first time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Outside
so.
of like polos and
awesome.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah. So on
Nice.
YouTube, it's the
Other
first
islands,
time.
man.
I was excited, man. I had to be on here. That was awesome.
Well, sweet. Big first for the channel. The first collab with Megadan and Do You Nerd.
Yeah, man.
8-Bit, you got anything social media wise you want to share?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at 8Bitglitch79.
Cool. And I'm on Twitter as @BandanaGamer1. And so that'll do it. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Like, I am so blessed that y'all help me out with these videos, help me out in life in general. Thank you all so much. Any final thoughts before we go?
Much love to you guys.
Thank you for our host, and thank you, Sean and Dan, for joining us. It is an absolute honor to be able to talk to all of you guys on a daily basis. Thank you so much.
Agreed.
All right. Well, let us know what you collect, what brings you love and joy in your collection, and make sure to hit that like button and give this a subscribe. And my friends, that'll do it for this episode of Contravania. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Hi, nerdlings!